Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to the News Talk Show. Today, my topic is why drag your kids into your divorce? Why? The kid wasn't getting no divorce. So that's what my topic is about today, everyone. Because oftentimes kids get drugged all over into the mud when it comes to divorce between the mother and the father. Kid didn't ask for that. Thank you so much for tuning in, and don't forget to click that like, share, and subscribe button so I can come back with more commentary on various topics. The News Talk Show is here to give you different clues, ideas, talk about general things in life, what's going on in the world today, so forth and so on. And again, like I said, my topic today, please forgive my hair, you guys, because it's been a storm in Houston, Texas, and the flood. A lot of people lost their lives, and I thank God that I made it out okay. But anyway, and it's still kind of raining outside. I just came in from the rain. But back to my topic today, why drag your kids in your divorce? Deal with it yourself. Deal with it between you and the person that you're divorcing. Oftentimes, kids get caught up in the rapture of what their parents are going through when they didn't even ask to come here. When a divorce is going on, oftentimes I hear that the mother keeps the kid away from the father because she's angry at the father. The kid's not angry at the father, so why would you keep the kid away from their father? Why? That kid needs both parents. It took two to tangle. Okay? It took two to make that child. So that child needs both parents in order to feel whole in this life, in this society. Even when my parents, they were together like 30 years before they departed, but we had both of them. Kids need both of their parents to feel complete because it took two. Even if they were put in a little dish, you know, the IVF, you could take a dish and they could take the father's sperm, the mother's egg, and make the embryo and then implant it into the womb. That's still the mother and the father. You can't make a baby with just an egg, and you definitely can't make it with just the sperm. It takes that egg from the woman and the sperm from the man to make a whole child. So why drag your child in the divorce with you and your husband, or you and your wife? That's not fair to the child. And it's definitely not fair when they go to school and all their other friends have their parents, and then they're wondering, well, where is my mother? Where is my father? Why is it that I can't be with my parents or one or the other parent? Why? It's devastating enough when a child is at a certain age and they're old enough to know that their parents were together and then they broke up, and then one parent talks bad about the other one to the child. That is devastating to a child. Please don't do that to your child. And all of the mothers out there, don't keep that child away from the father, because what you're doing is taking away one half away from the child, whether you know it or not, for own self-gain. For own self-gain, because that child had nothing to do with you and that man divorcing. That was between you and them. Why drag a child into your madness? Why? And even men. Say, for instance, the man decides he breaks up and he wants to keep the child, and he try to keep the child away from the mother. Well, that's not fair, because a child needs a mother's love as well. Because a mother will go just a step further in order to give that child a little more than what a father probably could think that he could give her. Now, I don't know if it's because of the fact that we carry them, we nourish them in our body, But that's a mother instinct. Even that father's mother would do that with him and his siblings. It's just a motherly instinct. So with that being said, with a motherly instinct, it seems that a mother should know not to keep a child away from that biological father. Even if that mother have another man in her life, that man is still not biologically attached to the child that was made from the sperm of the child's father. No one can replace that. No one. No man. Always let that child be a part of the other parent. Unless the parent is on drugs, unless the parent is in prison, or unless the parent is dead. That would be the only way that that child should not be attached to that father, or if the parent was abusive to the child. Oftentimes, fathers long to see their children just like mothers. And the reason I'm saying that, because I recall when I would fly from California to Houston, and I would always go to my mother's house first, and my daddy would say, why you go there first? Why come you didn't come and visit me? You always going to visit your mother first, and you never come and see me. And I said, Daddy, okay. I said, next time I come to Houston, I will come and visit you first. I said, because I don't want you to feel slighted at all. Because it's still always that mother. And sometimes women feel that because we carry them, we nourish them in our womb, that they're just our babies in the mind. But in God's eyesight, that's not so. Because that sperm was the one that created that baby. If that sperm didn't connect with that egg, that baby wouldn't even be here. I don't care if we carried them. I don't care if we nourished them. I don't care what we did. That child, every child, needs both parents to feel complete in life. Where when they step out in the world, they can say, I had both my mother and my father. Why would anyone take that away from a child? Every child deserves that right. I am so happy that I had both of my parents. I'm so happy they kept that relationship and that bond in between the mother and the father, my mother and my father. My mother said, one thing I will never do is talk against your father, because that is your father. That's your father. So this will be a better place. People will get along better. Because a lot of times, I know guys, they pay child support, and those mothers still won't let them see the father. Oftentimes, mothers get angry because the father didn't want them, or he moved on to someone else, or he left them and had another family somewhere. But even if he did that, it's still that child's father. It's still that child's father. I mean, I met a young lady that told me personally that she was raised by her mother and her father. When she turned 18, her mother told her that the father that she was raised by wasn't hers. Do you know how devastating that was to that child, to that young lady? And right to this day, she told me she wanted to mention that to her mother so bad, and she really wanted to ask her why. She said she could feel something. She knew, a baby can feel the bloodline. Even if oftentimes women may conceive and they may think it's that father, and they may be married to that father, they'll go along with the program, but it's really not the father. Still, the vibes, the bloodline, the energy, all of that, still that child can feel that. And she said, Josie, she said, I felt a lot of times that something was wrong because I looked different than both of them. And she told me she would look in the mirror, and try to see, what is it? I mean, what can I identify myself that can make me know that these are my biological parents? Because she felt like she probably was adopted. She knew something was wrong. growing up as a child. It was so devastating, and it still is to her to this day, because she grew up with a man telling Daddy I love you, and Daddy this and that, sitting on his lap playing in his hair, tickling his face, and all of this and that, and it wasn't even her real father. I charge her mother for that, because she had a chance to know her father, even though he was in another country. She still had a chance to grow up and love and know her father. So immediately when she found out that that man was not her father, she said, well, where is my father? I want to find my father. And so when she flew out of the country and went and met her daddy, she said they melted like butter. Like, I found you. You are it. She says the feeling of her and him was different and better than the feeling of her, the man that raised her. Which she already sensed something, as I said before, she already sensed something. But the thing of it is that when she did finally go and be with her biological daddy, he had other children. And she said they all melted like butter together. See, it's that bloodline. And she said no matter what all the kids he had, he just clenched onto her like, baby, I knew one day God would bring you to me because your mother ran away with you. Don't keep your kids away from father, because that girl is still angry to this day with her mother. I don't care how much you think women think we have control over our kids. Deep down inside, they know if you're doing wrong and holding them away from their father, a loving father especially. Now, there are many men out there that really don't care, don't give a damn about their children. But there are many, many more than that do care about their children. And possibly if those mothers would always put those kids in their lives, in their face, keep them a part of their lives, they would care even more. So what happened is that money has taken over the minds of a lot of individuals. And for the love of money is the rule of all evil. A lot of people go out and make babies just for money. It used to be the women was doing that stuff, but now men are doing it too. Men are getting with these celebrities and making money just to say, I have a baby by a celebrity. This stuff, using kids for a fraud or for your own self-gratification, has to stop. Every kid has the right to be balanced, to be loved by both, cherished by both. I know good women that the father may have had a downfall and he could no longer pay child support because something happened, but he had so much love in his heart for his child, and that mother just couldn't take that child away, because the good mother wants that child to be 100 complete, and when they grow up they can say, I had both my parents. It doesn't matter. The love of even a broke father can be even more powerful than the love of a father with money. Because sometimes a broke father, he can later on pull up in life and become very rich and famous. And that love that child had from him, that child will remember that he still gave me love when he didn't have the money. I want love from my father, but my mother won't let me. I've heard of incidences where the kids grow up and they say, well, I really wanted to connect with my father, but my mother wouldn't let me. That's not right. Because that kid didn't marry your husband, you did. That was the kid's father, not the kid's husband. So it's all wrong, and in the end, that stuff comes out to haunt you. It's just like my mother used to tell me, when a woman have a baby and she keep having all these abortions, knowing that the baby, she keeps having all these abortions, knowing that she could have taken birth control, but to keep having abortions, and not taking, precautions, you will see them one day. You will dream about them. You'll hear babies crying in your dreams. That stuff comes back to haunt you. I don't know how women or men can keep the other person that God made that baby with, keep them away from the other parent. Like I said, unless they're in jail, they're on drugs. I know a lady that her husband's on drugs, and that baby still know who the father is. And when he would be off of the drugs, he still would come around and give the baby whatever he could. But at least the baby still know they had another half of them. They know they wasn't just created by one person, the mother or the father. It took two. So the kids do not need to be tangled up in a divorce between two people because they didn't ask to come here. It's not fair to them. They will come back, and deep down inside, parents, whether it's the father or the mother, they know what's right from wrong. They know. Just like I know from when my parents broke up, and I know they did the right thing because we feel 100% assured of ourselves because we had both. It feels good to say, I have both my parents. And little kids in school, they go to school and they see other parents picking their children up from school and taking them to the park, and both parents do it. And then this kid, that parent kept them away from the other one. Other kids, they tease you. Where's your mama? Where's your daddy? I got my mama and my daddy. Where's yours at? That's not fair to a child to not have both their parents. Just because you're angry because you're going through a divorce. That's your divorce, not your child's. So stop it, because in the end, every person that keeps a child away from what God created on this heaven and earth, it comes back to haunt you and kick you in the butt. And 9 times out of 10, that kid's going to be mad at the parent that kept them from the other one. Because it's not right. Especially if that parent didn't do anything to the kid, but bring them in the world with their seed or their egg. Let's stop it. Let's stop it. It's not right at all for a child to suffer, wanting and longing to know that other parent, because one parent is all for self. All for self, are angry at the man. Some women are angry at the man for not wanting to be with them and he get with another lady. And some men are angry at the woman that have control of the child and mad because she got another man. And these kids shouldn't be caught up in between your madness. They should be whole. That should be separate from your mess. So let's stop it and let our kids be happy, and make them feel whole, where they can walk around like we did with our chest out. And you can walk in a place and you can feel good about yourself because, I have both my parents. Just because you divorced does not mean that child should have one parent. They need both parents because that child does not belong to you by yourself. And if you try to take away something that God created for your own self-satisfaction, whether it's for money, whether it's for anger, whether it's for bitterness, you will pay in the end. And the child may turn. The child may be bitter, like this young lady that I met. She's very bitter about that because she missed her whole father's life. He didn't see her as a little girl, his little baby. And it wasn't his only child, but I know men that have had only one daughter and never got to see him because of the selfish reasons of the mother. It's not right. It'll never be right. Definitely not right in God's eyes because he created this heaven and earth and the children that's in it. They do not deserve to go through your madness in a divorce. And that's what my topic was about today, you guys. So don't forget to please click like, share, and subscribe. And I'm going to come back with some more top subjects that hits me every time. There are subjects that other people talk to me about that bothers them. And if it bothers them, it's going to bother other little kids too. And that's why I come with these type of subjects. Please click like, share, and subscribe, and I'll be coming back with more. And thank you for tuning in. Bye. Talk to you later. Goodbye.